the Riot Podcast, Wednesday, June 28th. Today in the show, you'll see us talking about a ick that has divided the internet and divided the audience that heard it on RadioU. And I want to ask, is there an ick you can think of that somebody said, this is an ick, and so you stop doing it because you've heard other people say that it's an ick behavior?
Good question.
I'll let you think while I start with mine.
Yeah.
I don't like using straws because some people see that as an ick for a man to use a straw. I don't use straws. Or, I mean, it's not like I never use straws, but I avoid using straws. You ever go out to dinner with me at Texas Roadhouse, you'll see me drinking straight out of the cup.
Interesting. I love a good straw, though. I don't want to get rid of straws. I like a straw.
I don't need a straw. It does kind of look kind of to... think about like the way you have to do your lips, like that doesn't look very manly to do that.
It doesn't look very manly, no.
And then think about how you're helping the environment. And some people are like, well, I don't care about the environment. Well, yeah, okay, fine. Maybe some people think that's icky. This is all I'm saying. And so then, or maybe you do care about the environment, but you like straws. So then you have to use paper straws, but everybody complains paper straws suck. And they do. Paper straws
do suck.
Are no good. And then what? So then what? Metal straw? Well, just give it up.
No straw it is.
Yeah, just use the cup.
See, for me, I don't know. There's a myriad of things that I can think of that have been called icks.
Yeah.
That I try to avoid. Now, one of them that I try to do better at is the way that you sleep can be an ick.
Okay.
The way that you nap.
Yeah.
I've been told that I'm an icky napper or icky sleeper.
Okay.
The reason for that being is I sleep in like a very contained position.
Like a fetal position?
Like almost like a fetal position, yeah. There's been times where I'm very like tight sleeper to myself.
Yeah.
I'll curl up in like a little ball. I take up very little room. I don't like the typical way you would think of a man sleeping would be like sprawled out, taking up the whole bed, arms floating, whatever, snoring. For me, I'm a very quiet sleeper, and I'm in like a little ball. And I've tried to be better about that.
How do you control that?
Oh, when I first started to sleep, I started in like a more of a sprawled out position. And the other thing too, this is another one that's been I've been called out for, which is I like sleep like with my hands together, right?
Yeah.
As if I was like gonna pray. Get my hands together,
and then you put them under your head.
No, I put them like I like squeeze my knees together, and I'd like put them in between my knees and lay down. It sounds weird, and it is to watch. But it would be like my hands going between my kneecaps.
Yeah, well, you got to have padding between the kneecaps for sure if you sleep on your side.
And then like curled up, and then it looks ridiculous. So I've stopped doing that. I try not to. If I find myself going to sleep with my hands between my knees, I'm like, I gotta change it up. Especially if there's a girl present.
Wow.
My roommate makes fun of me bad enough about it. If he walks in the living room, he's like, dude, you look like ridiculous. He takes pictures of me sometimes, send them to me. He's like, you look like a little girl sleeping.
It sounds ridiculous.
It is. So I'm working on that.
That's a tough one. It's much easier to ditch straws than it is to change the way you sleep.
Yeah, the way you look when you sleep.
And
it's ridiculous.
If I'm being honest, maybe I just use the ick as a justification for an additional justification for something I already don't want to do, which is not use straws. You know what I mean?
See, I like using them. I like using the straws.
I guess I guess
for you, I mean,
the pro
throw it back, buddy.
Yeah, the pro of a straw is that you don't have like for me keeping your beard, your mustache clean, right?
Yep.
And it protects your teeth from the front of your teeth, anyways, the visible part of your teeth.
From the acidicness.
But you know what? Those are risks I'm willing to take.
I like it. I like your style.
Yeah.
I just feel as if with the whole ick thing, like I've said this before. I said this on the show today. If you're not like a 10, I don't want to hear about your ex. Because like that's the ridiculous thing. If you're going to be picky, you've got to be like a high value man or woman, I think. Because if you're going to tell me all the things that you're picky about, that you would want or whatever, and you're saying that I can't carry around a water bottle, and I'm like, well, I didn't even think you were cute. So like, where are you to tell me I can't do one of these, such a simple thing? And so I think if you're going to be picky about over these crazy things, then you've either got to be okay with being single. I don't want to hear you complain about being single because you're so picky.
But isn't the thing of the ick is that it's not a deal breaker? It's just like you kind of look down. It just hurts your impression of the person. Like
I think it's a deal breaker.
You think it's a deal breaker?
Because they say, like, I got the ick. And once you get the ick, there's no going back.
Yeah, then you start noticing all the other things, right?
If you get Nick of somebody, then there's no turning that back around. So you can't say something to Nick if it's not going to be a deal breaker for you, I think.
Yeah.
That's why I can't think of any. Actually, I can think of some icks that I have for women, but that's it, though.
Yeah.
I don't have a myriad of weird ones.
You don't want to let them all out?
You want me to divulge them? I don't know. I feel like a bad person.
It worked for this gal that we talk about in the show.
Everybody has their own icks,
out there and getting some attention. So
everybody has certain things they hate that people do. That when you see them do it, you're like, darn it. And I really liked her too. But here she is doing this. Here she is walking weird. What can I do?
Holding her nose when she jumps in the pool.
Oh man, I'm also one of those. So.
Yeah, you do that?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you got to stop that.
I also hold my nose when I swim.
You just icked me.
See, that's why I don't. When I go to the pool, I go to the pool every Saturday. You won't see me go under the water.
Oh my god!
Because I can't be caught dead doing that. Goodness gracious! If I jump in I jumped. This happened to me about probably 2 or 3 weekends ago. I was talking about, so this will go back to our choice champions when we were talking about friends who like to embarrass you.
Yeah.
My friend a couple weekends ago made me do a cannonball into the pool. And this is not a pool you do a cannonball at. This is an adult pool.
3 feet.
It's like 22 to 28-year-olds. Everybody's hanging out. Nobody's jumping in the pool. Nobody's splashing. And he yells out to everybody, my buddy wants to do a cannonball. He starts chanting cannonball. Other people start chanting cannonball. I pretty much get forced to have to do it. And when I did it, not only was it the embarrassment of doing a cannonball at an adult pool where everyone's relaxing, but I plugged my nose.
Oh, my gosh.
So then I pretty much had to leave.
Yeah, you've given me the ick now.
Yeah, it was bad.
I don't know if I can do the show with you anymore.
Not only was I doing a cannonball at an adult pool, but I did it while plugging my nose.
I'll never be able to look at you the same.
It was a terrible day for me.
Well, coming up tomorrow on the show is Choice Champions, and we'll be drafting anything from the frozen food aisle.
Oh, I love this one.
Text in your ideas, 877-2RadioU, or leave them in the comments on Facebook and YouTube. We'll catch you next time.
See you guys.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, RadioU.
What is the most important thing when you're looking for somebody to date?
There's so many answers I could give. I'm gonna. But
there can only be one most important thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna lead off with a compatible personality. That sounds like a good answer, right?
That sounds like a pretty good answer.
Like if someone was possibly searching for a partner, that's an answer they would want me to give as their potential partner, right? You would think so, eh?
So is that actually the truth?
It might be or may not
be. What
be.
you're saying to try to improve your chances. The true answer, if you want to actually be in the majority here, it's financial responsibility, financial stability.
Oh, really? That's the top?
That is the most important thing, according to a survey of singles here in 2023. The number one thing you can do to make yourself attractive to whoever you're trying to attract is have some money.
That's ridiculous.
If you're poor, you're staying single.
Oh, man. What a tough time to be dating nowadays. You better get a new job. What are you supposed to do? You're just supposed to get a new job, I guess. Make some more money.
Start saving. Or this is what you could do. You could start making it appear like you have money.
Yes.
But in fact, if you ever get found out, then it's even worse for you.
What you have to do is, it's like anything in dating. In the beginning, you have to be perfect, right? Where they really like you, get them to like you, and then once they actually like you a lot, then you can show all your flaws and they're stuck with you. That's how everybody's relationships are. So if in the beginning you just are flexing like crazy, you got a nice watch, you got a nice chain, whatever it is that you do that makes you look like you have a lot of money, and then a couple months down the line when they already really like you, then you're like, just so you know, I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
I have no money. I'm poor. These are the only things I own of value. They're all fake anyway.
I got them from Rent-A-Center, so they
were passed down from my grandmother. It's the only things of value I own.
But here's the question, though. This is talking about having money, but also being fiscally responsible, I think. So does that mean that having flexing with a expensive watch, for example, would actually be a turnoff to people? Because they're like, oh, this guy wastes his money on junk on stuff that's not actually important.
Smart.
He should be saving it for our future.
Got it. All you have to do, ready? All you have to do is just study up on the stock market, talk about it all the time, about how you're investing. I'm saving my 401k. This and that.
I'm making my money work for me.
I have all good credit. My credit score is incredible. Those kind of things.
Without your Robinhood account and just be flashing that everywhere.
Exactly.
That might be the true key, the true answer to finding somebody who you could go out with. That is, according to this, more important than physical appearance, being in good shape, political beliefs. It all pales in comparison to the importance of your finances when it comes to dating. So keep that in mind.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Tough looks for all of us here.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess for the people that, if you are relying on those things and you are good with your finances, then you're feeling good. If you're relying on being good looks and being funny, not so good for you.
Yeah.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Some big news from the world of comic book movies. The actor who will take up the mantle playing Superman in the next Superman movie has been revealed. Somebody by the name of David Corenswet. You ever heard of him?
I have not.
Not surprising. Not surprising. David Corenswet, I'm looking at the stuff he's done here in the past, and it's nothing you probably ever heard of.
I've never seen any of these movies.
Something called The Pearl, something called We Own This City, which sounds vaguely familiar, a show called The Politician, and something called Hollywood, which came out in 2020 and did win some awards, but never heard of any of this stuff.
He started acting in 2019.
Yeah, it's a brand new on the scene. Movie. 29 years old. David Corenswet will be the new Superman. We also have the new Lois, who is somebody I've heard of. She'll be played by Rachel Brosnahan, known for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, among other things. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why was I passed over for the role of Lois?
I mean,
I wish I knew. I think I could really be a Superman love interest. I think that's the role I was born to play. But however, they went with Rachel Brosnahan over me. So.
Yeah, that'd be a controversial one.
Yeah, but David Corenswet, what do you think about? I mean, he's unknown to us. I don't think we're in the minority with that. I think this is a guy who most people, it's a blank slate. You have no idea who this guy is. And he's going to be Superman when the new Superman Legacy movie comes out in 2025, about almost exactly 2 years from now.
I think if the movie's good, the people will like him. If the movie's bad, this will be his last big movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you sign up for the role of Superman, they're expecting him. This is James Gunn, the DC universe. They're working on this whole thing. This isn't going to be probably just one movie. So there's a lot hinging on this casting and this actually working out. Now, here's what he said, David Corenswet himself, about the role of Superman. He says he would love to see it be a more upbeat throwback take on Superman. He said he loves that Henry Cavill's Superman was dark and gritty, but he would like to see, he's going to try to make his Superman much more bright and optimistic. What do you feel about that?
Like a happy little boy, Superman.
Yeah, maybe so.
Is what it kind of seems like.
A happy little boy.
Where, yeah, the last couple, very serious Supermans.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Superman and DC stuff has been so intense, has been so dark and upsetting that maybe it is time for a little bit of a happier, brighter side of things in the DC universe.
Yeah, overall, I mean, until we see him in action, it's hard to tell, but obviously casting right away, he is not going to bring anybody to the theaters.
No.
Off the rip.
But if you think about it,
and neither is Miss Rachel either.
No, probably not. But you're not going to see a Superman movie for Lois.
Yeah, it's true.
Unless I was playing her.
Unless we had somebody, unless there was somebody that was playing her, they could get you to the movie theater.
Yeah, but you think about it though, a lot of the superheroes that we know and love now, when the actor was actually casting the role, a vast majority of them would probably be considered unknown as well. So
That's true. I was thinking about that too.
This is where he gets to make his name for himself and probably take off and do a whole bunch of other things as well. So
As long as he's good.
As long as he's good.
I mean, how much worse could it get for DC? Come on.
Yep, you nailed it. It can't be worse than it's been.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
In baseball, they just surveyed a bunch of the players, and the players say that they should bring a team to Nashville.
That sounds like a good location.
Makes sense.
I think so.
It's kind of a dead zone for pro baseball. Like the closest team is what? To Nashville, Cincinnati?
Yeah, Cincinnati probably.
Yeah, Cincinnati, St. Louis. So
I
that
bet
makes
there's
sense.
a bunch of Cardinals fans there. If I had to guess, the Cardinals are huge.
Yeah,
so probably a bunch of Cardinals fans.
Baseball is big kind of bigger in the South. So, I mean, not as big as football, of course, but that makes sense. Let me ask you this. If you could have any new pro sport come to your town, which one would you be the most excited for? Like it's a brand new team. It's not like, oh, they're moving my favorite team to my town. But what if there was a new team coming to town? What would you be the most excited about?
See, I think for many people, there's going to be different answers for this. Because I think that most people would say, like, oh, I want an NFL team in my town, or I want an NBA team just because those are like the big popular ones.
Yeah.
But majority of people, like, you already have your team. So, like, if I already have the Browns, so an NFL team where I live would be cool because maybe they would play the Browns. Yeah. But at the same time, I already have my team.
You're not going to change your loyalty.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I'm not going to all of a sudden be like, I'm going to get season tickets to whatever team moved here because I'm already a Browns fan. So I think the best way to do it would be I would rather have like a big event, like kind of like a pro event.
Okay.
And for that, I'm thinking racing. I want a big race.
Like NASCAR, F1.
NASCAR, F1, any of them. I just want a race to be held in my city. And so it doesn't have to be having a team. Like I don't have to have an NBA team.
Yeah.
And obviously NASCAR is all over the place. I think it'd be cool if like your city got a race because there's only a couple of them. And so when you go around, everybody gets like some cities get like one maybe. And so I would like it if my town had one race because I've been to like NASCAR races and IndyCar races, and they're super cool, super fun. Happens like once a year, so everybody goes all out for it. And I think that'd be a good bonus for me for one weekend a year to have a race weekend.
I think F1 does sound fun because it's such it's taken off now. It's getting bigger in the U.S. F1 would be a lot of fun. Very international too.
Oh yeah.
What else? What are other sports that tour around? Like there's tennis.
Golf.
That wouldn't be that exciting. I've lived where they've had tennis tournaments. Not as exciting.
No.
Never wound up going to it. Golf, tempting, but I've also never done that. And then what do you got?
Horse racing.
Horse racing?
Yeah, horse racing.
That doesn't really tour around.
I mean, they have the Triple Crown.
Yeah, but those are tracks that are all they're always in use. Those tracks. It's not if you have a racing track, you only get a couple big races a year. I don't know. What about? Here's a good one. Here's something I think I might get into. What if there's a college bowl game in your town? And that's not something that has been there prior.
It happened once a year. It just depends, though. Do you have a good one? Like you don't care about the old Tostitos Chip Bowl or whatever.
If you get the fifth best team from the Mountain
Bowl.
West taking on the third best team from the Big Ten, it probably wouldn't be that.
But if you had one of like the college football playoff games, that'd be pretty sick. Like the Sugar Bowl, the Rose Bowl, those are big ones. You don't want the Pizza Hut Bowl because then you're getting like a MAC school taking on the sixth best team in the Pac-12. And that's not as good. But if you have one of the good ones, it could be fun.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, I think my answer is just anything international. Like from a big international, like the World Cup's coming to the U.S. That'd be cool to have in your town just once. Not even all the time, just one time. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't have to have a pro team all the time. I mean, I would love it if the Browns came to me. That'd be great.
But yeah, just a new team.
Yeah,
a new
have a brand new
football team.
Yeah, but I think but if a whole new pro sports team moved to my city that I didn't care about, it would be fun. It'd be something to do, but at the same time, I don't know if I'd love it.
I think it'd be fun to find out.
Yeah. If they put one here, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah, put a basketball team in town. See if, I probably would adopt them as my own.
Yeah, it might mess up my traffic schedule, though.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Today's Would You Rather. It's 4th of July themed. Two of the most important things for a good 4th of July weekend are a pool and a cookout, like a good grill, which is why today's question is, would you rather have the best pool setup in town or the best grill in town? The best, just an amazing setup. However, you can only have one. So if you have a grill, you have no pool whatsoever. If you have a pool, you have no grill whatsoever. Which would you rather go with? Text your answer in to 8772 Radio U. We'll let Isaiah answer first.
I mean, this is a clear one.
Yeah, I think I have my answer. No
Mine's
question.
for sure the pool.
It's the pool.
I love the pool. The best pool in town. I can imagine in my mind right now what the best pool in town looks like.
What does it look like?
There's a waterfall. There's it's like an infinity pool as well because it's like raised above. I mean, just like imagine the sickest pool you can think of. I mean, you're taking that 10 times out of 10, no doubt, over a grill. What are you getting, a Blackstone? We've all cooked on a Blackstone. We've all eaten off a Blackstone.
Oh, you can do better than that.
I mean, whatever you want it to be, I think the hot dog that you make me on the best grill is going to taste oddly similar to the hot dog that I could make in the microwave.
No, don't say that.
In the microwave.
Don't say
Not
that.
even on another grill. If I handed you a hot dog, you're going to like it no matter what. If I hand you a really crappy pool versus the sickest pool of all time, if I have the sickest pool of all time, you're for sure coming to my party this Saturday.
Max is with you, although it sounds like he's not actually with you because he says, I prefer to remain married, and the pool is his wife's favorite place in the house, so he's not going to get rid of. If the choice is pool or grill,
he's going to keep his wife.
He's going with pool.
I'm going with my wife.
Yeah, to keep his wife happy. Well, listen, text in your answer to 8772 Radio U for Would You Rather Wednesday. Would you rather have the nicest pool in town but no grill, or the nicest grill setup in town but no pool? 8772 Radio U for Would You Rather Wednesday. I'll share my thoughts next, and we'll get to your thoughts as well.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Question is, would you rather have the nicest pool in town, but you have no grill whatsoever to speak of, or would you rather have the nicest grill setup you can think of, but no pool at all? Text it at 8772 Radio U. Isaiah's fully on team pool. And Justin says he agrees with you. He says, why do I always agree with Isaiah? I definitely go with the best pool in town because more people would want to come over.
Sounds like you're a smart man. That's why you always agree.
Here's something you're not thinking about, Justin. Maybe some of us don't want people to come over. Maybe we just want to enjoy it ourselves.
A little silence, I guess, for Hudson.
Regina says pool for sure. I want a bigger pool anyway, so might as well just claim this upgrade. But how about this text from Ryan who says, I have to go with the grill for the fact that I'm always hungry.
That's a wild. I mean, you could make things other than grilling, but you know what? If that's
true.
Only have the grill, I get it.
Mike says you need to eat more than swim, so give me the grill with a smoker.
See, it's another one of those times where I would say you guys can make other food for your party. You could order a pizza and have the pool, but you know what? People like the grill. I get it.
Or you can make a homemade pizza in your outdoor pizza oven as part of your grill setup. Caleb says going with the grill all day. You can grill all year round in a lot of places, but you can't swim all year round. In fact, there's a lot of places it seems like you can't swim much at all this time of year.
If you have the nicest pool in town, I would assume it's heated.
Heated.
Come on.
Fair enough.
That's like the first thing that you would do with a nice pool.
I guess that is that's prerequisite for it being a real nice pool. Greg says, I can cook anywhere, so I don't need a grill. I would take the pool. Make everybody happy.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Colin says, this is a good answer. My parents would be sad if I stopped coming over to use their pool, so I'll take the grill.
Fair.
Yeah, I like that.
Keep mom and dad happy.
He also says it would make his wife happy because then she wouldn't have to cook. Victor says, I prefer the best pool in the city. everyone coming to my party, and then I can get an ugly grill.
I'm with that, Victor.
Yeah.
I like that thinking.
If you're bringing everybody in the city to your house, think about how the dads are going to deride your poor grill, though.
But when they're looking at like my infinity pool waterfall,
Yeah.
they're not going to be able to say anything to me.
Yeah, but they're going to be like, you think you can cook a hot dog on that thing?
And I'll be like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I bet you'll like it just the same. Why don't you go over and go down the slide, brother? Go off the diving board.
I'll tell you why I am team grill. Because, for one, yes, you can use a grill more year-round than you can use a pool. But two, here's what nobody's mentioning. Think about the maintenance. You have the nicest pool in town. You got to have somebody come over and clean that thing at least once a week. You got to hire somebody. If I ever have to hire somebody for a routine basis, that's something I don't want to do. It's a responsibility I don't want. And otherwise, you have to clean it yourself. It's a lot of problems. And stuff goes wrong with your pool all the time. The grill, it's going to be, you're good to go.
Yeah,
It's one and done.
You know, if you're not, I get that. The whole, like, the cleaning of the pool thing. If you're not responsible enough to have nice things, I mean, it's kind of like having a boat. Like, who would want a really nice boat? Because you're going to have to do maintenance on it. So,
yeah,
it's understandable.
And you know what everybody says about buying a boat?
If you can't clean a mansion, like, then you should have a little house. That'd be good for you.
Yeah, that's all anybody needs.
I think that's good. If you can't handle the good stuff, you should have the little stuff. That's okay.
If you know what they say about boats is the best day of owning a boat is the day you buy it and the day you sell it.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, nobody likes the in-between part. And I think the same would be said of having the nicest pool in town.
I don't know if you've been to a nice pool recently, but also you might not be a pool guy, so I get that. For me, I'm a big pool guy, so I lean pool.
I think the best thing for pool is knowing somebody with a good pool, not owning it yourself.
I'm with that.
And then you would be the one that owns the pool. You'd have everybody coming over. Too much responsibility.
How much responsibility is it to be on the grill, though? I mean, you have people over and you're running this 7-man grill. Sounds like a lot of work. But you know what? For some people, that's the fun of the day.
That is the fun.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Got a gal here who just publicly announced one of her icks, and it is causing controversy. People are torn on whether this is an appropriate complaint for men or not. This gal, her name is Chloe. She tweeted out, she said, "Men who carry water bottles out in public give me the ick, especially at the airport." She goes on to say, "You can't go a few hours without having your little sips of water. Carrying around anything is a feminine trait."
Oh, geez. What can we do? That's the question nowadays.
So you're pro carrying a water bottle out in public?
I mean, I don't ever carry a water bottle. I could see it being a feminine thing. But for me personally, I think it's fine if you carry one.
I think she makes a compelling case.
You think so?
At first, I was torn myself. I was like, well, I don't carry a water bottle except at work. It doesn't really count, right?
I've seen you twirling it, yeah.
Twirling it. But imagining somebody, just picturing a guy in my head that's just strolling around town, walking out on the sidewalk, walking through the airport, and he's got his own portable water bottle. Get over yourself, you know?
Get over yourself.
Get over yourself.
It's like the most vital nutrient we have is water.
Yeah, and almost everybody somehow manages to go through life without carrying one.
Yeah, but I feel
there's water fountains everywhere. There's water fountains everywhere.
Everyone has a water fountain or a water bottle.
Yeah, I never bring it with me anywhere.
What are you talking about? You carry one with you all day at work. What do you mean?
Yeah, but I don't go. When I leave work, it stays here. I don't carry it with me. This is a small building. I have it at my desk.
Yeah, I mean, if you're carrying with you around all day, that's different than going to the airport. I mean, you're about to get on a plane for 6 hours flying somewhere. You might need some water. I get it.
There's water fountains everywhere.
On a plane? There's no water on a plane. Unless you're drinking out of the toilet.
That's what
your one little thing of Sprite, your little 1/4 ounce of Sprite is for that you get on the plane?
Yeah,
no
you'll
way.
be fine. You'll be fine. How long is your flight?
I mean, it could be anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. You might want to drink a water. It looks like a prepared guy to me.
But what's more important, drinking water or looking impressive to women?
See,
I like to show my masculinity by not drinking water.
I think women should be impressed when a man brings a water bottle to the airport. Because that means that he's thinking ahead. He's always thinking. If you walk into an airport, no water bottle, I think you're ridiculous.
I'm about to go on a flight in less than a week, and you know what I'm not taking with me? A water bottle.
The best man. You want to know who the best man is at the airports? The guy that brings in the plastic bottle. He drinks one before he goes through security. Because you can't take water through security.
No, yeah, you can't.
And then you go through with just the plastic bottle. You get on the other side, you fill it up at the water fountain, get on the plane. That right there is your most prime man of all time.
I don't know. It's icky. She's convinced me.
That it's icky to have a water bottle?
Yeah.
See, now again, I add this to the list of things that I can't do. I can't, sit down in a certain way. I can't carry a water bottle to drink water with. I think it's just a never-ending list. So I would say that she can be one that doesn't have to be attracted to me. That's okay.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
You can text the show if you have something to say. A lot of people have something to say about the gal who says an ick for her is guys carrying around water bottles. And I'm kind of I didn't know I had an opinion on this at first, but then when I thought about it, having your own personal water bottle that you carry around, reusable, it's different. You got to think of Aquafina, whatever. But Chloe on Twitter complained that carrying around anything is a feminine trait, including particularly a reusable water bottle. Nobody agrees with me on this except her, but but I'm thinking about it. When you're a man, right?
I'm a man, yes.
You got to have your hands free to do things, right?
What do you mean?
What if there's a task?
What do you mean a task? Like when I'm walking down the street?
Yeah. What if something
all of a sudden I gotta catch something?
Yeah. What if something is falling and it's your responsibility to catch it? Well, and your hand's full of a water bottle.
Well, a real man would just catch it anyway. I got a water bottle in hand. I would slide it down to the elbow. Still catch it. That's what a man would do.
I think the real way to be prepared is not having anything in your hands and being ready for whatever comes at you.
Being ready for whatever's next.
Yeah.
See, I think, I think having water on deck, being hydrated. I'm not a big fan of headaches. I like to avoid headaches if possible. Good way to do that, drinking water. So for me personally, it sounds like this girl is more of a headache, and I'm not double down with headaches. You don't want to double down. If I'm not carrying around a water bottle and I'm listening to her in my ear, that's going to be double down headache if I had to guess. I hope she's a 10 out of 10, because if she's anything less than a 10, I don't even know what we're talking about, her giving me an ick like this. I mean, there's no way you can tell me not to carry around water. You would have to be the most beautiful girl of all time for me not to have water.
Well, a lot of people are texting in. It's like, well, if you're out in the sun all day, you need to have water. That's way different. If you're doing construction, have your big jug of water. But if you're walking through the airport, I think you can survive.
Well, for 8 hours? You had the airport's this quick little thing. You get there at 6 a.m. in the morning, and a lot of times you get off the plane at 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
There's a water fountain every 20 feet in an airport.
But you're on the plane. There's no water on the plane.
They have flight attendants. Their purpose is to attend to you. If you say, excuse me, flight attendant, I need water, what are they going to say, no?
I mean, if you ask for water, they're going to give you that little glass, but I'm just more of someone who I would rather have my own.
I think I just can't disagree with Chloe. I don't know what she looks like. It doesn't matter. She's right. I've got more important things to have full of my hands than a water bottle at all times.
See, I just think that the water bottle, especially I think in the airport, is one of the most important times to have it. I mean, you might not need it 24 hours of the day walking around in your typical day-to-day life, but when I go to the airport, I've got a water bottle, and I mean, the texts are resoundingly against you.
Jonathan says, my water goes in my bag.
Yeah.
Unless I have a woman to carry it for me.
Oh, Jonathan. Oh, goodness gracious.
No, but I don't know. I've got, I've got things to do. I've got stuff to carry, and it's not a water
What are you
bottle.
Carrying? I don't understand that you got your hands are so full all the time.
If I'm at the airport, I've got bags. I've got carry-ons and stuff. Why is your water bottle in your hand?
Heck, I mean, I'm just saying, if you carry it around a water bottle, you carry it around.
And just
I don't think it's the end of the world.
The top thing, even more than the airport, the top thing I think of is you're walking on the sidewalk. It's not like you're going from place to place. It's not like you've been working out in the sun all day. You're just walking on the sidewalk. Why do you have a reusable water bottle?
I'm just saying, I think if you have a water bottle in your hand, I'm never going to be walking down the street and being like, oh my gosh, A water bottle? Who is this guy? Why is he carrying that thing around? That's so ridiculous. I think I'm going to walk down the street. I won't even notice they have a water bottle. I would never notice. Who is this girl to notice that someone has a water bottle in their hand? What kind of a weirdo notices someone with a water bottle in their hand? A wild ask of a man to not carry a water bottle. A wild ask.
We've spent way too much time on this, although all the feedback disagrees.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Isaiah, you and I are big sports guys, right?
I do like sports, yes.
But apparently we might be a dying breed. Got a new survey here that says that Gen Z, the youngest generation, that's like people like under 25-ish, say, give or take, less into sports, less into live sports than any generation any other living generation. That we're dialing back on live sports because apparently they're too long. Because some people still like watching highlights, and this is crazy. 17% of people will watch a game after it aired on recorded, so they can speed through it.
Well, that's odd. That's just
odd.
weird.
To me, that doesn't sound like a Gen Z thing. That sounds like a dad thing.
That's what I was thinking. Like, why would you even watch it?
Every dad, I mean, I don't know about every dad I know, but the only people I know who do that are dads are like, yeah, I like fast forwarding through the commercials. I start the game 2 hours after it starts, and then I'm caught up by the end.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
No, I
hate
like that either.
I don't want to get spoiled for me.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, a pop-up on my phone says Ohio State won by 3. And then all of a sudden it's ruined.
Yep.
I didn't even get to watch the whole game.
Yeah, that's how I am as well. But yeah, apparently for the younger generation, less into just sitting down, watching a full sporting event. What do you think about that?
See, because I wonder if this is just like an age thing. Because what is it, between 18 and 26?
Uh-huh.
Like, because I think about, like, maybe are they doing other things? Like, what else could they possibly be doing, though?
Yeah. Well, I think that's what it is that it's an age thing in that the young, like our generation now has grown up with, instead of having 10 channels and any interesting sports event was on one of them, now you've got a million things you can choose from to stream, a million things you can choose from to do, just so much more options. And so who has the time, the attention span to sit down and watch a 3-hour baseball game when you could spend 2.5 hours of those 3 hours doing other things and then just watch some highlights or watch the end of the game or whatever? Who has the time and the attention span to sit down and watch a whole sports thing? All sports things are long.
Yeah, they're all long. I mean, they're all at least 2 hours long. That's what we're looking at nowadays, at least 2 hours. They
keep trying to shorten, like, baseball. College football is the worst of all for just taking way too long.
Forever.
Yeah, where they need to shorten it down. Doesn't mean these things aren't successful, but they're trying to not keep slipping,
Yeah, I think that I guarantee, though, that all generations, when they were between this age range, consumed the least amount of sports, probably. Like, the people that are 50 to 65 now, when they were 18 to 26, they probably weren't consuming as much live sports television as they are now.
Yeah, I guess I can see that, right?
Because it's a very active time period in your life. Like, you have a lot of things to do. Whereas as you get older, you become a little bit more of a homebody.
Yeah.
To where you're hanging out with your family, you're watching every game. Like, that's what you do on like a Friday night. You might not be going out. If you have kids, then you're more likely to be at home because you can't take them places. If you have babies, whatever it is, between the ages of 18 and 26 is your most freedom time period. So more than likely, you're not going to be watching every single game.
Maybe there is something to that, where like when you get real amped up for sports when you're like a little kid.
Yeah.
And then you lose some of that even though you're still a sports fan, but then who else is really amped up for sports? Like 40-year-old guys that got nothing else going on.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's like their thing, where if I asked anybody who's over the age of 30, when was the time period where you were watching TV the least, it probably was when you were like 22 because you were out doing whatever, having fun, hanging out with your friends. I think that's what it is more than people at this age just not liking sports as much.
Maybe it isn't all doom and gloom for live sports after all.
Maybe they can make a comeback. We'll see. We'll see if these people in 10 years are just hanging out watching all the games.
We'll see how the NFL's doing. 10 years from now.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
Fiat, the car company, they're shaking up the car company game. They're doing something wild. They've just announced that they will no longer be producing gray vehicles.
Why not?
They're giving up on the gray vehicle because they say, this is from their press release, that they want to be a brand of joy, colors, and optimism. They want to inspire people to live with optimism and positivity. And so gray, not a very positive color. It's boring. It's drab. It's just blah. You want to have color in your life. You want to have excitement, fun. And that comes with orange, yellow, blue.
No.
Anything with
We're not doing that.
character is what they're going with.
Character.
Think about,
Blue cars are nice. They're clean. I mean, gray, not blue. Green, gray.
Which color are you talking about
Gray
here?
cars.
I'm very unclear.
No, they got me all mixed up with all these colors of cars. Because I'm reading all these weird car colors they've got going here. Gray is a crisp color. A crisp, clean color.
That is just so boring. Don't you want to stand out? Don't you want your vehicle to say something about you?
But isn't there a thing with like you're not supposed to try to pick like a colorful car because you'll get pulled over more? Isn't that what they say?
Unless all cars are colorful.
Like red cars get pulled over the most.
In the world that Fiat is hoping for. I don't know. I've also heard that gray cars are the most dangerous. You know why? Because in inclement weather, or if it's, for example, with the Canadian wildfires where it gets all smoky.
Oh, you can't see them?
Yeah.
They come out of nowhere?
Aren't as visible as if you've got a bright yellow car. Why do you think fire engines are red and yellow?
That does make sense.
Because you can see them. Safety.
It's a safety thing.
So not only will Fiat help you be more optimistic with their new colorful cars, they'll also help you be safer.
Or sneakier if you go with gray.
Yeah.
You just fly by the police.
Oh, so in other words, if you have a gray car, you're trying to hide something, is what I'm hearing now.
It sounds like you're going fast. That's what I assume.
Yeah.
You're rocking that gray.
Sounds like you might have something in your trunk you don't want the police to know about.
Sounds like you're speeding.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I like a good clean car. If I was going to pick a color for my car.
Yeah. You have a white truck.
I have a white truck. So
if you had to do it all over again.
I would do white again.
You do white again?
I'm a big white car guy.
Your car always looks so dirty, though. You can see any little speck of dust.
See, that's what you think.
Yeah.
But they don't, though. That's like what black cars do. Like black, there's just like dust
all
over
yeah.
them.
I have a black car. I didn't have a lot of other options at the time.
Yeah, I would go white, and then my second pick would probably be gray if I had to do a second pick. Color-wise, I wouldn't go color. I wouldn't do a color.
I like to call attention to myself in different ways. And so one of the ways would be with a colorful car. And so gray is not for me. So I support Fiat. I don't know. There's people out there that obviously clearly want gray cars, and Fiat's leaving that market behind. But you know what? They're picking up the market of people like me, people that are fun-loving, people that are optimistic,
people that are fun-loving,
people that are full of joy
about a car color.
And zest for life. And so if Fiat's going to make a green car for me, that's the car that's what I'm into.
You're okay with that?
I'm a big green guy.
I mean, I can tell you're covered in green right now.
When I buy my next car, my next Jeep, it's gonna be brightly colored. You just watch. I hope
it is.
You just watch and see.
And then you're gonna be calling me every morning like, "Hey, I got pulled over again. I'm gonna be a little bit late today. A little bit late."
I haven't been pulled over in years.
Knock on wood, buddy.
Yeah.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Get rid of outdated stereotypes. It's 2023. It's time for us to move on. Get on with the times. So one outdated stereotype we need to move on from, that men are insensitive. Men are actually more likely to cry than women.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
I have here a survey that says men, on average, admit to crying about 4 times a month. Women, only 3 times a month.
Impossible.
That's what it says right here.
I don't believe that for 30 seconds.
It's what it says right here. 4 times a month is a wild number. How many times a month do you cry?
That's like once a week.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that for anybody that's been crying today. If you're a guy that's been crying today,
man or woman,
it's okay.
Uh-huh.
But for once a week, That seems, yet again, for me as a person that's pretty happy, that seems a bit aggressive.
Yeah, actually,
Cry-wise.
you know what? You say not that there's anything wrong with that. I think there is something wrong. It's not crying. It's not the act of crying that's the problem. But if you came to me and you said, yeah, I cry 4 times a month, I'd be like, what is wrong? What's happening to you? Who are you living with? What is going on? Who are your friends? What are you doing at work? Because something is not right if you're crying 4 times a month.
Yeah, that's a lot of crying. But maybe at the same time, some people are just more sensitive than others. Some people would cry at other things others wouldn't. You know, I don't really get stressed out.
Yeah.
Some people cry just because of stress, just daily stresses. That for me, I'd be like, well, I'll figure it out.
Can you think of the last time you cried?
The last time that I cried.
Was it when you watched Brother Bear on Sunday?
No, but
No,
that was
close,
tough. There was one time I
close
smashed
call.
my finger. I nearly cried out of pain, but I was in a public setting, so I held it together. But I think of sadness. I haven't cried in years.
Yeah.
Centuries. Who knows? Probably like in the past. I mean, I've definitely cried this year.
Yeah.
At some point, I was real sad. What about you? When was the last time you cried?
No, I don't know. Occasionally I'll get a little choked up, but like the actual last time I would say cry, I have no idea. And it's not because it happens so frequently that I just don't even keep track of it. It's because it happens so infrequently that I don't remember. And I'm not saying that because I want to be a big manly man.
Big tough guy.
I think it's fine for guys to cry.
I think it's cool to cry.
You think so?
I think it's cool. Yeah.
Would you think better of me if I just started weeping right now?
No, I wouldn't think that. I mean,
So
I think
not
it's
that kind of
I think
cool.
it's okay to cry. I think it's fine. If you want to cry, you can cry. I would prefer you not do it in front of me because then I'm gonna feel awful awkward.
That's uncomfortable.
I'm gonna feel really uncomfortable if you're crying in front of me.
It says here that for men, 37% would consider being called sensitive a compliment, whereas only 23% of women perceive that as a compliment. So if you walk up to if you walk up to a gal and say, "Oh, you're so sensitive," that's an insult.
I can see that being an insult.
Doesn't it all matter in how you say it?
It is, and it's timing too.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I feel as if you can be a sensitive guy and not cry though.
Yeah.
Because like I would say when I watched, like I would say the last time I probably cried, if I saw a tear roll down, it's probably watching a TikTok.
Oh yeah.
More than likely, because there's a lot of things in my life that make me very sad. But I think if I'm watching a real emotional TikTok,
Yeah.
I might let a tear go.
Does it usually involve pets?
Oh, it could be dogs. Dogs are they're big ones. Sadness, the military reuniting videos, things like that. We all know the ones that get us. Everybody has something that gets us.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you can cry at that.
Actually, you know what? I think I just remember the last time I cried. I'm having a breakthrough right now.
Here we go.
I think the last time I cried, I was listening to a guy talk about his dog that he had had for a long time, and it passed away. And then and he was like talking about it like at length. And then I started thinking about when one day my Zafira the dog is going to die.
So sad.
Yeah, that was the last thing that got me. That was probably about a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah,
it was a while ago.
Yeah, what? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
That's the last time you can remember crying?
That's the last time I can recall.
You're crazy. Yeah. I feel like the last time I cried was like a couple of weeks back. I was watching this real emotional video about this guy who got like shots, but like he like lived through it and like went through this like traumatic experience. So it was like a big thing that I saw on TikTok.
Oh, well, I don't watch those.
You don't watch those? It got me.
Because I don't want to cry, I guess.
He was like, I was crawling and all of a sudden I was lifted up. Oh, it's just so good. But yeah, for me personally, I feel like I've definitely cried more recently than you have, I guess.
I'm pretty sure you're probably right. Well, I guess just think about it. If you're a guy, apparently it's okay to cry.
I think it always has been.
No, not in the 60s.
Not in the olden days.
Yeah, but now it's fine.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.